Hello, this is Zeke777, and welcome to episode 13 of Arcane Revolution. We're gonna pick up where we left off with Thaumcraft. And I got a mess. And unfortunately, I missed the actual, there's like the void portal, not portal thing, but whatever it's called. There's supposed to be a little rift that forms, and then this guy appears, and I missed it. Which is kind of annoying, because I really wanted to scan that. Oh, cool, it's kind of... Didn't realize it's translucent. It's kind of cool. If I walk too much closer, then it's going to hurt me. The fibrous taint hurts. There's also a tainticle over here. Or at least there was. Ooh, I can scan those when they die. Ah, okay. Well, either way, I have... Apparently the ghosts are haunted. So I need to kill this thing, and I already scanned it. Didn't really teach me anything. Tentacles, I scanned those. And let's see what we've got for research. And also, unfortunately, since I had missed the actual event, I didn't get the Let the Flux build achievement scanner discovery thingy, which is a little annoying. But, Mr. Taintseed, we need to deal with you. This is probably not a good idea, so let's try it anyway. It does hit it pretty hard, but it also hurts me. So let's grab my magic wand somewhere, which I think I put into my tool bag. Grab you. I want you to come out. I do want to keep you. So let's heal up, and let's see what we got. We got magic missile. Works, I guess. Kind of lazy. Let's see, dark vision, oak flesh, might as well get that. Let's just kill it. Because this isn't going to be too hard to kill. There we go. Ooh, got a Thium crystal. I think at this point it basically just kind of goes away. I will have a... Are you still alive? Oh, it's a Vengeance Spear. Oh! Vengeance Box. I have a Vengeance Box on me. Yes, I do. And the capture thingy. Just lost it. Oh well. I also did manage to find a capturing wand, which I should have used in the meantime to capture him, but whatever. So that's kind of cool. Can I scan liquid? Anything else I can scan around here? No? Tree? Nope. Okay. Well, that was fun. I still need to get that rift to form, though. In our main storehouse area, I'm slowly piecing together the whole system. I moved a controller slave over here and relocated the golem to be able to pull from that, which is really nice because now I can just go in here and say, oh, I want block iron. He gets a memo, comes over here, gets it real quick because he's nice and close. And I think I can just toss you in here and that should still back in sorting. However, I still don't have all of my blood magic nodes set up around here, and I've only got some of these, I don't remember what they're called, provider seals set up. Not all of them have it. Yeah, need to do that at some point. But I also want to, at some point, switch out this golem. I was hoping to be able to just like upgrade him, like swap out parts. You can't do that apparently though, so instead I'll have to make a new one from scratch. And I'll probably just use climbing legs for that. I know I can get one that flies. I don't know if he's any faster. Climbing legs would work though, because then it can just, you know, grab from any of those from any level without having to put a little shelf or anything. So that's an idea. In the meantime, I've been going through and getting a whole bunch of research done, and I gotta say, it's kind of fun. I'm using a whole lot of paper, lots of paper. In fact, I probably want to automate that. Right now, I've just got this area here, which has I think 64, or maybe it's 32 because if it's fully grown, I get 64 out of it. Which is nice, but it's not automatic, so I'm still having to go over here manually, make paper, yay. So I'll have to do that at some point, but I think what we're going to get to work on is infusion. So if I go in here, I've got my Sentry tubes are all researched, I even have alchemical automation set up. And if we go over to Planar Artifice? Yeah, Planar Artifice. In here is the Thaumium Smeltery. It's the Thaumium Alchemium Smeltery. Alchemium Thaumium, yeah. Basically, the regular Alchemium Smeltery takes a regular Sentry Smeltery, and it gets you 1.5 times the capacity, so it can hold more in here. and it increases the efficiency by 5%, which I think bumps up to 90%. Whereas this guy here has a 2.16 speed, so much faster than the regular smeltery, and 2.6 multiply the capacity, so it can hold a whole bunch more, like a lot more. Yeah, which is really cool. This is a little expensive because this takes a lot of thaumium plates, alchemical constructs, which are plates and just more of that stuff. But I think it's actually more efficient than if I go through the regular thaumium Essentia smelter, because this is 90%. Oh, so I guess that one's 85. So this one's 90. So I guess this one is technically more efficient, but whatever. I'm going to go with the green one. And one thing I do want to point out is the Advanced Essentia Transport. This is the transfusers. I'm gonna do the research on this one. Oh, that's just observations, cool. I'll do the research on it. I don't plan on using the filling Essentia transfusers, because this one here is basically, it takes it from the alembic and then just sends it through the air to your jars. And I'm wanting to actually use pipes on this. I might still use the emptying ones, because that makes the alchemy really, really easy. Because I just need one of those and an automation thing. But yeah, for the most part I'm going to be using pipes for this, and I need to figure out how I want to lay that out. So up here in Thaumcraft land, my original plan was basically to have a row of buffers up here. So it'd basically be a chain of buffers, and then I'd have some pipes. This is my stand for pipes. Pipes would go down like this to the jars, and then I'd just have a bunch of filters and all that, so that it doesn't connect here. That was the plan. But I realized, this is actually, well, one, it'd take a bunch of buffers because it has to go this way, then back down this direction, or vice versa, whatever. And I was thinking that used a lot of buffers, and it also, like this side right here, he's not being used. So I could be more efficient. And I figured I want to try something new. So I'm thinking instead what I'll do is down the middle here, if I do 4, 5, that's probably good. Just one chain of buffers along here, and instead do some slightly more complicated piping like this. So you will come over here, this one will come down something like this, something like that. So I'll use all 4 sides, and it's going to be just a big tangled mess of pipes, which will look pretty awesome, I think. I think that'll work. The one thing is, with this layout, I only have 1 row of jars each, which is only 250, I think 256 maybe. There's not as much Essentia as I'd like to store, so I might have to kind of think about this. Alright, let's give this out. Let's give this a shot. So we've got buffers are going to go down the middle here. Filter pipe will go here, here, and here. These are going to be set to not connect. So this will then come down, and this will be for this row, which will give me, currently I've got 5 sitting here, but I could do 4 or whatever. That's going to be plenty of Essentia for pretty much anything I need. I've got 4 more jars up here of a different type of Essentia. So it still gives me the same density as what I'll get here. I can get lots of, I can get all the types of Essentia, and it can basically just be 2 rows. I think that'll work. I'll still be able to reach here if I want to get like a file of it, so I can still pick that up manually. I think that'll work. I think that works. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to have then, of course, out of the top here is going to be, let's get back up there. You come up here. Thank you. So then up here, this top one is going to go across and then down to the next row, which will be basically mirror image on this side. So the pipes themselves are not going to be quite symmetric, but I think it'll still work. Should be kind of cool looking. Tons of storage, way more than I'll ever need, which is awesome. Exactly what I want. I do need to figure out a way to automatically take the extras that I'll have and turn that into crystals. So I'm not really sure if that's actually something I can completely automate here. Alrighty, so let's make ourselves a whole bunch of buffers. We're just going to completely drain the aura. That's going to take a little bit. I don't actually need any of these crystals, do I? Okay, so if I break you, can I pick up everything? Everything but that. Okay, so let's just toss some crystals in here. I don't need you at the moment. So let's go find a couple other places, a couple other chunks that I can steal of their aura. You seem good. Okay. Place you here, and I want recipe, shift. Ooh, that does work. Okay. 11 of them. Okay, so we're getting a little bit closer. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of these. So let's head upstairs and take a look at this. I have to say, this thing, I really like it. I really like it when it works, I should say. Whee, it worked. Cool. So let's go over here, and I still need an actual building up here, but we'll get there. Now, here we go. So if we take out this, I think right here should work. So sentry buffer, we're going to take you and place you here. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just a row of these. There we go. And I think 16 is way too many, but should be even here, I think. One extra just in case. And we'll stick an extra one over here, again, just in case. I don't think we'll need it, but whatever. I'm going to have to use a bellows for this because, so the way this works, I should actually go through, let me empty my inventory for a second. Okay, so I cleared out my inventory. Let's go ahead and grab our gauntlet, which I threw in here. Somewhere in here, yes, Caster's Gauntlet. So you, if you take a look at this, if you aim between here, you can right click, which will disconnect it. So let's keep it connected. And I want this to be red. So if I actually just check the book just to make sure. Over here with alchemy, we want essential tubes. We want buffers. Buffer. Here we go. We want tubes can be connected to all its sides. Yeah. And we want, additionally, you can toggle individual connections on and off with a normal click. It will choke the suction back to 1 if it's blue or 0 if it's red. So we want what's going to be the output to be red. So we're going to go along here and change all of these to red. Now the reason why, so normally the suction on this is 1 anyway, so why would you have a blue? Well, if you stick a bellows on here, it'll increase it to, I think, 32, maybe 16 per, I think it's 16 per bellows. But you can still turn it to blue so that it'll be choked back to 1. So we go through, set all these red, right click. Let's go through here, and last one, okay. So that means it can only flow through here one direction. It's going to go that way. Because this guy, he's trying to pull from all directions with 1, but he can't pull from this direction. Meanwhile, this guy is able to pull over there, so he is not counteracting that basically, so it just always goes that way. Next up, if we take our tubes, and I'm going to go with essentially filters. It's kind of not necessary, but kind of is. I'll show you in a second here. So we want, oh, can I not click there? Fine. Oh, that's just a filter. That's not a filter tube. I'm going to make that into a filter tube. Okay, so filter tube. Place you on here. Now these guys here, the reason I'm using filtered tubes is because I'm going to have lots of jars here. Now I have a couple options of how I can do this. One is I can label all of them, and if I do that, then I guess I could use restricted tubes. So let's go here and place this whole section. So these guys, break you, we want essential tubes. So if I use this, then it doesn't really matter which suction is on these, like which type, whether it's an untyped jar or not, it'll just fill it up. So if this is set for, let's say, Terra, then only Terra will be pulled through here. But I think if I do that, it's actually not going to work, because if this one has Terra and this one has untyped, I think that's still going to cause this to have an issue. In which case I probably do want them all labeled. And actually I think if I have them all labeled and use the restricted tubes, I think that'll work. Then I don't need a filter tube here, which is expensive. So for now we're going to pretend that these are restricted tubes, and I'm just going to ignore it. So place you here, here, and here, and here. So that gets me 4 jars of that essentia. And now my question is, do I want to have it be, do I want the jars on this level? I think I want the jars on this level. So let's break you. Apparently I can reach that. And let's place our jars 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way those are even. And I can just go along connecting these like so. So that's that side, except that these last 3 here will be restricted tubes. That way he still has full suction. He'll fill up first. Oh, that's not going to work. I still need you to overpower these. I might need filters. So let's take a look at this just to see the general layout. So with this, I have this going 4 jars and it goes all the way to the wall. And over here, that's also 4 jars going all the way to the wall. So those are at least equally spaced. Do I like that spider web? Because basically this is going to be, all of these are going to be well, not connected, they're going to be sticking out like that. and connected, disconnect all of these. So it's going to be a giant tangled mess. It's going to look awesome. Going to probably completely kill my frame rate. But it'll be cool. Should work. Now, I still need to figure out the logistics of this. Ideally, the front jar here would always be full, and then it'd fill up these as they get filled up. The way it's currently looking like it'll be set up if I replace these with the restricted pipes is that it will fill him first, then it'll fill this one, then it'll fill this one, then it'll fill this one. Yay. But if this one empties, it's not going to pull from this one. And I don't know if that matters. I don't really know how to fix that either. So if I put a label on the front one here, I think I need to all have them be labeled. No filter pipes here. I think that'll work. I think they all need to be labeled. I think that's fine. And that should work. And it gives me this little walkway here, which I can actually then expand out to that. Break you, break you. So that gives me a 5 wide walkway, except for that little corner. I think that works. And can I just say, this is going to be expensive. This is definitely not a, like, oh, this is going to be a small, cheap thing to make. No, this is expensive. Transfusers are a whole lot cheaper than actually doing pipes here. But honestly, I think the part of the whole aesthetic of Thaumcraft is you have all these pipes everywhere. I do wish it had the nice little, like, fittings on here. The, like, gold brass fittings. I think they looked cooler. Yeah, this will be fun. In fact, I think for now what I'm going to do is, since I don't actually need 500 some storage of this, I'm actually going to do just 2 jars for now. And we'll see how well that gets us. Because, yeah, this is just going to be crazy expensive otherwise. I do have to say, having the increased reach is extremely useful here, because then I'm able to actually reach up to there. Otherwise I have to be jumping around in the pipes, which would be kind of tedious. There's 3 of that. Alrighty, so I've got, I think, 6 here, which it means that I have 24 different types of Essentia here, so 24 aspects with 2 jars each, in a fairly small configuration here. And my hope is that I'll be able to place just a single mirror in the middle here to be able to go wherever I need, which is just going to be to this room here. That's the plan. It's going to just go right there, as well as, I guess, alchemy. I've got 20 additional jars on me, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the rest as well. So I'm not quite done with this. Ran out of materials. Mostly just need sand at this point, which I, for some reason, have not automated yet. Anyway, got all of my jars. I brought them over here. I have a couple more that are being filled up with whatever's left over, mostly Machina and Terra, I believe. So once that is drained, then I can move that over here and at least get this whole system started to be sorted. And I think the way I'm going to do it is in order as is here. So air, then Terra, then Ignis, Aqua, etc. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be my pattern. So that first one's air, Terra goes above it, Ignis goes on top over there, and Aqua goes here. And as you can see, it doesn't like it. Because, again, this isn't labeled, and so the untyped suction from this jar is fighting against the Aqua suction here. So basically that's not going to be happy until I can stick labels on everything. It's going to be kind of tedious. Do I have anything else on me? I've got these guys I need to figure out where to put them. I don't quite have enough jar space here yet, so we'll see what all we can fit in. Alrighty, so I think the way I can do this is by getting some labels and some files. In fact, I only really need one, so let's throw that one in here just to not mess with the inventory tweaks. So if I take my Aqua and place you in here, those aren't going anywhere. Awesome. So label there, label here. So that'll prevent it from flowing between them, and I no longer have the little escaping gas image thing here. So place you there. Let's grab one, place you, and label you. Similarly, label you, grab, place, and label. Okay, so that fixes that. Next up, I just need to get a bunch of every aspect. Of course, I said the word just, which is not exactly an understatement here. If I burn a bunch of you, that should get me some Ignis eventually. So I'm either going to get Ignis out of this, or I'm going to get... Is it? Okay. There we go. You've got Ignis. Yay! Which is probably going to clog up the system. So that wasn't where I wanted you, but okay. So that will draw in Ignis, and then we can do the same thing. Take you, fill you, and stick a label on the side. I'm clicking over here. So that one's happy. Cool. Next up, that one got me... This isn't the right spot for it. Can I even reach you? Oh, I might not be able to reach that. Okay. Well, this is going to be tedious. So this area is going to be kind of a work in progress until I can finally get everything figured out. Basically, I need ordo, I need a lot of stuff. Yeah, like this goes out here, which means I'm missing 2 here, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this side. Basically missing a lot of them. Small little setup here. I am taking a break for a little bit though because I don't want the flux to get too high in this area. I would prefer to not have to deal with that here. Yes, we'll deal with that later. In the meantime, let's make ourselves an infusion altar. So I have this set up here, mostly because I want it to be difficult. Everyone always says, oh, it has to be a circle, it has to be this, it has to be that. At least in previous versions it didn't have to. So I'm going to do it this way. If it blows up in my face, cool, I'll fix it, whatever. In the meantime, let's break this, and now this one here is a pedestal in the middle, and little brick thing, you and you. Let's patch up our floor, and I need arcane stone on top of this. 3, 4. Let's place one here, and our matrix on top. So break that. It's stable, apparently, for not being created. So if I probably need that dust stuff on this, don't I? Don't have it in here. Okay, let me go grab some. And of course the book says make it with Salus Mundus and then right click it with a casting thing. So let's go ahead and place our Salus Mundus, presumably here. New. Let's take a look. Do I have this just built completely wrong? They changed it, so it's regular stone now. Okay. Easy enough. Break that out, break my floorboards yet again, and arcane stone. So one goes here, 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 and here. Let's break our extra, patch up our floor yet again, and now let's give this a shot. So Salus Mundus, probably you. There we go. Fancy. And then this guy here needs to be activated with that. So now it's sparkly. Cool. So this area is now ready to go. Let's go ahead and place our pedestals down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And part of the reason why I want to do it like this is it'll let me actually be able to reach things easier. And break you, because I misplaced you. Okay. So, infusion. Set up. Alrighty, so after a whole lot of searching, I finally have every single aspect of vanilla Thaumcraft, except the last ones here. There's, I guess it is, I have all of vanilla. Corrallos and Dredia, that's from Abyssalcraft. I have a couple of these extra ones, and then these ones here are interesting. These ones used to be aspects in Thaumcraft, but they're not anymore. These ones are added by Thaumic bases, which is very tedious, because in order to get this, the only way to get this is from these guys, which are only makeable if you have this to begin with. So the only way to get this is through the research table. One of the cards you can get will combine 2 aspects to get you a third one. Yeah, tedious. So we're not going to work on those yet. But I have everything else. Got 2 jars, at least labeled, if not full. Yeah, that took a while. So a very quick aside. It has been a week or so since I've been able to record. But in that time, I did switch over to a different Java. I saw a thing on Reddit the other day on the Feed the Beast forum, Feed the Beast subreddit, I should say, about a different thing. It's called Java, like JD8 or something like that. It's or JDK. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it basically switches around how it loads things. It handles the garbage processing, the garbage collector differently. And if I hit F3 here, you can see I have apparently around 30, 50 frames a second, depending on kind of where I'm looking, which is awesome. I do have it capped at 50 right now, just because why work extra if it's not going to be useless. But if you look up in the upper right-hand corner, memory, we're under 2 gigs. It just barely hit 2 there and then dropped to 1500. It's hitting 2 again. So we're hovering right around 2 gigs. I've given it 8 gigs of RAM, and it's only using 2. I think I have 12 in my system here. So yeah, it's that seems to have helped it a little bit, at least. We'll see how well this goes, but for now, it's at least something different, so I figured I'd give a little heads up that something changed. So back to what we're actually doing, and that is Thaumcraft. If we look at rustic thaumaturgy, now this is an interesting one. The main thing that this adds, I guess, or that it's advertised as adding, is that you can have different types of wood. So you can now use ironwood, you can use great wood and silverwood to make rustic furniture. But there's also this whole brewery section. Now there's farming cinder pearl, farming shimmerleaf, and farming vishroom. These things are normally not farmable as far as I can tell. And in order to actually do the research here, you have to get a whole bunch of this. I had to get, I think, 10 of each of these. I have to say, 10 shimmerleaf was actually pretty difficult. But, from what I understand, at least with cinder pearl, I can turn that into blaze rods. Or blaze powder first, I should say. So let's go ahead, and if I look at the cinder mote, if I right-click that, you can make cinder mote turns into a tiny pile of blaze dust, which is worth a little bit of alchemy and some ignis. You can also crush it into cinder ward, make some like brew out of it, I guess. But if I right-click on this, tiny pile of blaze dust can be turned into regular blaze powder. And with the magic of alchemy, let's find the crucible here, and a bit of vinculum, we can actually turn 6 blaze powder into 3 blaze rods. Now that's worth noting here because normally you get 2 powder per rod, so that's pretty much an even thing there, you just add the vinculum. But if I take this, I can actually, depending on how I'm doing this, if I can process it, wait, wrong one, I want use you, or I guess, so if I make blaze powder here, there's a couple ways I can do it. I can send it through a crusher, which will get me 4 blaze powder. So if I can manage to get some vinculum, then that means I have infinite blaze rods without having to actually set up a proper farm. So how does that work? If I go here to alchemy again, alchemy, vinculum, what all can I get from this? If I look through this list here, there's a whole bunch of stuff, but if we look here, doors, fence gates, not just the rustic variants there, but also vanilla. That's 5 per, which means I can now turn wood into blaze rods. Basically, is how that's going to work. It's going to cost a little bit in terms of, I guess, fuel and maybe probably V or flux into the atmosphere. But basically, that gives us a pathway to having, like I said, turning literally wood into blaze rods. So that's pretty cool. And similarly, I can also take shimmer petals, which are the rustic thaumaturgy version, and turn that into quicksilver, which is good because otherwise my only real source is, I think, mining, actually. I've got a little bit more cinnabar in here. I've got 10 cinnabar that I haven't processed, but it's kind of tedious, and I don't know if I can get that through... I might be able to with an orchid. I don't think I can with the blood magic meteor, though. So that's technically not renewable. Well, I guess with the orchid, maybe. Either way, we now have an alchemy setup. Alchemy setup set up. So, what are we going to make? We're going to make some, I think, cinder mote first, because that, I think, is going to be the most useful. So, in order to make a cinder mote, I need a cinder mote seed, which I finished the research on, which takes 4 seeds, 4 bone meal, 4 water buckets, and a cinder pearl, and then a whole bunch of stuff down here. And instability is minor, so hopefully nothing will explode. I changed my mind. I want the shimmerleaf instead, because that one, I'm actually running low on that. The other one I can actually farm, because I do have a blaze spawner now that I think about it. So shimmerleaf, shimmer petal rather, is basically the same thing, only potatoes instead of seeds, and a whole bunch of aurum. Now luckily, aurum I have a decent amount of, probably not in here, I think I put it up in my storage area. If we run up here, I have a whole bunch of silverwood, thanks to trying to find all this shimmerleaf to begin with. And these guys here, they turn to Aurum. So that's actually pretty easy to get. So let's grab a whole bunch of that. 10's probably good. Do I have any potatoes? I should have some potatoes. 3. Really? Grab a couple. And some bones. Yes. Okay, so let's turn that into getting more potatoes and gather up all the rest of the stuff. And unfortunately, one thing I don't have a whole lot of is stabilizers. So with previous versions of Thaumcraft in 1.7 and 1.12, or 1.10 I should say, you could use the various Botania things as stabilizing materials, these mushrooms mostly. I think the flowers could as well, but the mushrooms are really easy to farm. I don't have any of those, and actually I don't know if these are stabilizers anymore. It's actually worth testing, I might check that out. But in the meantime, candles. These should act as stabilizers. Now I believe, reading through the change notes, and I haven't actually done any testing whatsoever, so we're going to do this kind of live. I think there's like a cap. I think it's like 10 of each, maybe 12 of each thing. But apparently it's different whether it's orange or white or yellow or whatever colors. So for now, let's toss this in here, make ourselves a whole bunch of tallow, and go get some string for... Why did I bounce twice there? Weird. Get a bunch of string to make some candles. 9, 10. And I also need a whole bunch of coloring agent of some sort or another. Let's see, I've got white, because that's just the base. But if I go over here, green's still growing, but these guys over here act as red, if I recall. So let's grab 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, we're just going to grab 8. I think that should be good. Crafting table, string, and not bone meal. Tallow. There we go. Turn you into a whole bunch of candles, and take 8 of you. Turn you into red candles. And let's see, what other colors can I get? Like I said, green from cactus is easy enough. Honestly, that should act as a yellow dye, but probably doesn't. Let's see what I have. Alrighty, so if we look here, it says very stable. Now, if I place down one of these, so it doesn't actually change the indicator. I was hoping it'd say negative. Here, okay. Well, for now, we'll just place a couple more of these. 3 there, 3 over here. That should be symmetric for that. Let's grab some orange as well. Let's put those on this other side. 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Cool. That should help a little bit. You know what, we're going to go orange there as well. And there. Just to keep symmetry and get more items here. Okay. So that should help, maybe? I really wish it would say something right now. We'll find out. Shimmering mushroom, I was hoping it'd say it before so I could place that down and see if that changed. Might plop that down while it's running and see what it does. But whatever, we'll find out. So I need 4 potatoes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I need 4 bone meal. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I need, what was it, water buckets. Water bucket, water bucket, water bucket, water bucket. Now that should be all that I need. Let's see, where was that shimmer petal bulb. Got those, cool. 25 Aurum, 50 Victus, 50 Herba. I should have Victus and Herba. Herba should be pretty easy, cool. And Victus, got that one as well. And Aurum, that one I am low on. So let's put Herba, we'll put Herba back, put this back as well, just because. And let's hook this guy up and start smelting down a bit of silverwood. Well, we do have a little bit more flux here than I'd be happy with, but we'll see how it goes. So if we throw our silverwood in, and actually let me double check. If I turn you into planks, that is worse. Okay. So let's throw all of you in, and let's just grab something. I should have a chest around here. Do you have anything burnable? A sapling. I think you burn. Burn some fences. So let's toss you in here, and let's see what happens. 2, 3. Should work. Okay, so that's going to smelt down. Should be getting us lots of herba. That one's going, and then Arum, when it comes out, should be working. So I just need 25, so I don't need a whole lot of it. I do need to smelt down at least 5 of these, which it already has, so we've got that. So, okay, that'll work. Once that is done smelting down, then we'll be right back. Alrighty, so we've got our jars here, and these shouldn't have to be symmetric because they're not technically counted as symmetry items. So we place these here. So we've got easily enough. I got at least double. I guess that one's a little lower than double. And last item I need is a shimmer leaf. So with any luck, things don't go horribly, horribly wrong. I'm going to cut the recording here and then start up again and then do that just in case it does crash. Because, hey, I've never tried it before. Alrighty, let's begin. So we have 0.55 gain per cycle and a bit of loss. So if I place this down, we will find out very shortly if this is a bad thing. That didn't seem to change anything. So we're sitting still at very stable. This guy did not change anything whatsoever. It's 0 to 0.4 loss per cycle, with or without him. 455, yeah, so this doesn't change anything, so this is not something I can use. But if I place down you, that's... Huh, that didn't change it either. Did that help? No, it did not. Okay, so maybe I just don't know what I'm doing. Either way, it worked. No instability problems, everything worked out quite nicely, and you can even see, yes, my strange alignment here, my strange placement of everything, it still all works. So it doesn't have to be that weird circle that everyone does, it can be pretty much whatever you want as long as it is symmetric. So cool, we have ourselves a bulb. Wonder how much I can do to make this really OP. So for my first trick, we're going to place it right here, and we're going to check, are you bone mealable? You would seem to be, except it still says 0. Okay. What else do we have that we can do to augment how fast this thing grows? I do have a apiary here. I think it might not be close enough to have an effect over here. Still says growth 0. So let me do a little bit of reading and see if there's anything that I'm supposed to do to actually make this work better. Let's scan it. Cool. Didn't do much of anything. Yeah, we'll see if that grows. Well, there we go, a full stack of bone meal added, and it's still at 0%. I did sleep, so it's now day. Let's see, maybe there's something I'm supposed to do with growing it on certain ground. Perhaps one of these guys might help. Let's play around with this. So next thing I want to try is Agricraft. Let's see if this is something that can be analyzed. No, it is not. No. Okay, so it probably is not able to be grown on crop sticks then, but just to double check that, let's go plant these down and see if I can make it grow that way. Let's walk over here, crop stick, and let's see if you want to grow. No, okay. So that can't be used to manipulate it. I would imagine an Agricarnation from Botania, however I don't have a spring rune on me. Fire and water. Saplings and wheat. I might have the materials to make that. Let's double check. Botania chest. We've got one fire. But it doesn't use the fire, so that actually works. So fire, water, needs saplings, and a wheat. Wheat on me, and saplings I can go grab. Okay, let's go make a rune. Alrighty, so we've got mana going in. That'll be done soon enough. So let's grab our rune here. And let's find out what else I need. Cool. And let's bind you back to the pool. That'll just fill back up. Okay. So we have ourselves a rune of spring, and we also need redstone root, lime, green, and yellow. I should have all of those colors. Let's see. I need a lime, green, and do I have a yellow already? No. Okay. So let's throw... Don't need these guys anymore. Yellow. Okay, so take you, take you, take you. Let's throw our shimmering mushroom back in there. And I don't need my candles anymore either. They seem to do nothing. Okay, and I think that's all. I have seeds on me. And a bucket of water. I think I used my last bucket. Grab one. Okay. So let's make ourselves an egg carnation, and we'll see if this thing helps. It's probably actually not going to be too noticeable now that I think about it. I should have a petal apothecary. Here we go. Bucket, where are you? And water, where did I put my water? Over here. Thank you. Water goes in. And I need, what was that? 2 light green? Or 2 lime? One of you, one of you, one of you. Need that seed back. Thank you. And I need a redstone root. Like I said, need a redstone root and then a seed. That gets us 1 egg carnation. Now, I guess I'll put it over here. I'm not using a whole lot of... I was going to break through rice, but apparently I broke cranberries instead. Fair enough. Okay, so bucket goes away and shimmer petal. So still sitting at 0. Go. So it does seem that the shimmer petal is able to actually work with the egg carnations. So I made a couple. But yeah, I'm up to 42%. I'm thinking that it's probably going to give me just a little at a time. One thing I do want to definitely check is that I can get... Hopefully I can get more seeds actually with the Man of Steel pickaxe with Fortune 5 on it. But at the moment it's still sitting at 42. So once that's done, we'll come back and hopefully get a bunch of petals. Awesome. That actually went pretty quickly. So let's go ahead, grab our pickaxe, and right click got me 2 shimmer petals. That did not get me another seed though. Perhaps it's a sort of thing where if I... No? Okay. I'll harvest a few of these and we'll see if we can get any extra seeds. If it doesn't, then I guess I'll just have to either make more, or I wonder actually... Let's break you. Can I plant you? No? Okay. Worth a shot. We'll let that grow, and we will see where we get. Something else we can try here is the acceleration wand from Not Enough Wands. Oh, that's just cheating. Although I guess it does use my, it does use experience for that, it looks like. So maybe not ideal. Let's clear that. Grab you. I'd really like to be able to get more seeds out of this thing. I mean, these alone get me Quicksilver drops, which it can turn into 9 of them for Quicksilver single, which I'd like a big farm of these things. Okay, well, one last test. So that was right-clicking, and I harvested it kind of like when I right-click on anything else here. Let's try actually punching it. Maybe that'll have a chance of getting seeds then. Nope, just give me the 1. Well, it's worth a shot. This thing does chew through levels, but it does definitely work. Gonna run out of levels, there we go. So, break you again. Nope, still just 1 seed. Okay, well, like I said, I'm gonna keep trying that kind of off camera, and we'll see if that can get us any actual seeds. Ideally, like I said, I'd like a big field of these, and of course, automated. I can either use the, apparently that zoomed that. I could probably use the Ancient Warfare guy over there, because he seems to be able to do just anything with farming materials. Additionally, of course, this is Thaumcraft, I have golems, so that is an option as well. So we'll play around with that. In the meantime, I got myself a couple of these guys. I can make some Quicksilver out of that, and it's better than nothing. So that gets me enough things for pipes, and I also need that for mirrors, because like you saw over there, I had to break the jar in order to move it. Well, in the meantime, we're going to let that just kind of grow off camera. I'll keep harvesting it as I can. But we're going to have to call this for an episode. It is actually, I think today is currently, yeah, today's Monday. And normally I'd have it uploaded today, but obviously it's not done yet. So, we're going to call this for an episode and get this uploaded to YouTube, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. But in the meantime, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye. One last little thing here. I decided to play around with this. If you notice, this guy's currently sparking. It turns out you actually have to right-click on here in order to update it. If I place you here... No, I want to place you there. So I'm currently at 45. If I right-click, still says 45. I'm actually surprised it's not lower. Let's place our candle back. There we go. He's back up to 65. And if I place the green shimmering mushroom down here, right click, it's down to 55. He's sparking, which means, yes, these guys are stabilizers in this version. So go wild crazy with Botania. This stuff is easy to farm. It is mushrooms and bone meal. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.